Thank you for joining us for the third video from the IDC WIN 2024 Tech Day. Next up, Rebecca McMurry shares how advisors can drive growth and client retention with AdvisorStream's investor-centric approach to marketing. Now we will share how AdvisorStream helps you stand out with timely client-focused communications. Create curiosity with fresh content licensed from world-class publishers, attract leads with optimized landing pages designed to convert, save time with flexible automation you control, and drive growth with AI-powered client insights and content recommendations. Let's join Sash Khanna as she introduces Enterprise Account Executive Rebecca McMurry with AdvisorStream.
Social media needs to do three things for you and your brand. It should be a two-way conversation. Social media was intended to build relationships and encourage interactions. And social media was created to add value. So I'm sure most of you would have guessed our next speaker is going to be from AdvisorStream. Joining us today is Rebecca McMurray from AdvisorStream at Broadridge. Rebecca is the Enterprise Account Executive and assists in the planning and development of the platform. She helps clients and their advisors achieve and exceed their business goals and growth goals. She works with wealth firms to implement and optimize AdvisorStream's digital marketing solution to increase client engagement and business building, as well as education and training advisors on how to leverage the platform's features to build brand awareness and increase revenue.
Thank you so much, Sash, and hello everyone. I'm delighted to be here today and sharing a little bit more about AdvisorStream. Now, before I jump into the tool itself, I wanted to share a little bit more about the background and our approach to content marketing. We should have some time at the end for questions, so please do enter those into the chat. If we don't, we'll certainly be sure to follow up with you after today's event. But now, to kick things off, as I mentioned, we wanted to share just a couple of interesting stats about investor engagement. Starting off with perhaps a more alarming stat, that 31% of investors are contemplating leaving their advisor. So this can either be viewed as an opportunity to capture this business, or on the other side of the coin, it really highlights the importance of retention in mitigating this risk. The next natural question, of course, is why are these investors considering leaving? And in a recent Salesforce study, investors were asked the top 3 reasons why they leave their advisor. With fees, and especially the perception of bad advice, there's little you can do to mitigate this. However, the second most common reason cited was lack of communication. And this is something that is fully under your control and easily solved by implementing a technology solution. Following from here, you might be wondering how much is enough communication. And in a study we conducted with the Dow Jones, we found that the average investor receives 26 touch points from their advisor a year. However, they reported wanting more, with a significant preference for a weekly touch point. So you're already providing an extremely high level of service, but this is where AdvisorStream can really support you in providing another touch point and really ensuring that you're meeting this expectation. Now, our next finding from the same study highlights the value of knowing and building a relationship with the next generation. What's interesting was that we found younger investors more likely to value working with an advisor, which really goes against the stereotype that younger investors don't want to work with advisors. What we're seeing is these younger investors are building wealth, either through the great wealth transfer or their own wealth just accumulating over time, combined with a lot having happened in recent years. And this has meant that younger investors have questions. They want to understand the different terms they're hearing, the trends, and how these are impacting them, as well as opportunities for them which may be being presented by all the upheaval of late. We then looked at the top reason an investor might choose to work with an advisor. And what's interesting is that, again, there is a split based on age demographic. Younger investors, they're looking for social validation and are more likely to work with an advisor because it was recommended to them, really underscoring the importance of referrals to attracting millennials and Gen Z clients. Whereas older investors, boomer, silent, and older Gen X, they were more likely to work with an advisor because they felt they didn't have enough knowledge on financial or investing, which really highlights the value and importance of providing that ongoing education and being that coach for your clients. So we know that referral is the number one way in which younger investors, they discover and then they choose an advisor. And it's easy to drive referrals when your clients are engaged. In fact, clients who are engaged are 5 times more likely to refer than a disengaged client. And then the final stat I'll share is from a Broadridge study in which 77% of advisors acknowledged that they had lost business due to a lack of tools for effectively communicating with their clients. And that's where AdvisorStream comes in. As an omni-channel digital marketing or digital communication tool that helps advisors drive growth by increasing AUM from existing clients, strengthening the relationship with content that demonstrates your understanding, as well as helping you find and attract new leads with highly engaging content that sparks action. It also helps you and firms by ensuring your marketing and client engagement initiatives stay compliant without sacrificing on results. So helping you attract and retain the value of your clients, as well as eliminating risks that come with marketing, such as how to stay active and have fresh content to share with clients that demonstrate that high quality level of service you provide. Also providing you insights to optimize the ROI of your marketing and your client and engagement initiatives, which is really critical for your ongoing success. So if you're looking to drive growth this year with an automated but still value-driven approach to your marketing and to your communications, this is exactly where AdvisorStream helps and slots in. So providing you with all the tools you need in one place. We take an omni-channel approach to content marketing, and what that really means is that you communicate with investors across many channels. So from sharing timely, credible content on social media, which of course is really huge for growing brand awareness and capturing leads, to sending targeted, hyper-personalized emails designed to showcase your understanding of clients, to deepen the relationship, as well as a curated weekly news update, keeping you top of mind and really front and center with investors, as well as reducing the risk of losing investors due to lack of communication. Website integrations add value to your sites, as well as digital greeting cards to help you celebrate life's memorable moments. So all your clients are different, and it is important that your marketing reflects that understanding and that you can meet each unique individual where they want to be met. Built into the platform, you will find all the content has been lead optimized, meaning that you can drive new business through your communications, as well as having lead nurturing functionality, so that when you do capture a lead, you have a process in place to begin to nurture them with ease. Compliance workflows are all built in, and then of course you have fantastic support from the Worldsource team as well as our client success team, really ensuring that you're seeing value and ROI across your marketing. So I want to talk a little bit more about our approach, and we think of ourselves as being investor centric, and that really means having diversity in your approach and speaks to an understanding of your clients. It's important that you have all the tools available to you to communicate regularly with relevant content for all the clients you're working with or even people you're potentially hoping to work with. Now, what's unique about the AdvisorStream platform is our approach to content marketing, and really we built the platform with the philosophy of putting your clients in the center of everything we do, and really helping you meet them where they're spending a lot of time. What makes us, sorry about that. So I would say what makes us truly unique is our content library. So we've built out the world's largest investor-focused library, and it's this library that powers all our communication channels. So we've partnered with the world's largest publishers in order to fully license their content for your marketing use. So having direct access to content from the Globe and Mail, the Canadian Press, the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, Barron's, etc., etc. So AdvisorStream has licensed the content so that you have an unlimited access to fresh, highly credible content on really virtually any topic, with no paywalls, ads, or really friction points for your clients and prospects. So our comprehensive library does have new content being added daily by our team of human curators, but that's not all. We certainly do encourage you and allow you to complement this premium content with any content that you may be creating. So your own thought leadership, whether it's a video, a text piece, even perhaps you've been featured on a podcast, we certainly want to showcase that. As well as content that's being created on your behalf by Worldsource that's already pre-populated in your library. All the content is branded, and we'll take a closer look at that experience in just a moment. But it's branded and lead optimized to ensure that every communication is driving that ROI and results for your business. We then marry all this great content with data-driven insights to help you share the right piece of content with the right investor at the right time. Now, I've mentioned a couple of times our investor-centric approach, and I would say what that really means is that you're providing a superior experience at all times for that end investor. So whenever you share content from our library, you're not sending a link that brings an individual to a publisher's website where they'll either be met with a firm paywall or a metered paywall. Instead, what you're sharing is a unique co-branded landing page. So stripping away all that noise and distraction and really keeping investors within your ecosystem. Because of this pleasant, frictionless reading experience, the content you're sending also makes it easily shareable for your clients, so that if they're reading an article and they think a friend or family member might also benefit from the piece, they can easily forward it. And as all the content is branded and lead captured enabled, it means that every time an article is shared, it's essentially acting as a referral for you. And then of course, when a lead is captured, they're automatically added into your email list so that you can begin to nurture them and compliantly build a relationship fully in your control. Now, once you start sharing content consistently from AdvisorStream, our platform begins learning. So as a client and prospect begins to consume content, the system will begin to build out what we call a consumption profile for each investor. So within the system, you will be able to see who your most engaged readers are and what has engaged them. So being able to see the individual communications they've been sent, what content they've engaged with, and then based on this, the system will actually identify and bubble up for each individual their unique areas of interest. Then you can take it a step further, and the system will actually begin to recommend relevant content for you to share with that individual. So what that's going to help you do is get the right piece of content to the right person at the right time. So if we just take the example on screen here, I know the text is small, but we have Tyler, and the system has identified that he's most interested in financial planning, travel, parenting, and wellness in that order. So reading the most on planning and travel. So as an individual, as an advisor, you can look to these areas of interest to help craft a communication that really illustrates your understanding of Tyler at that atomic level. So this is where the idea of don't just tell me you know me, show me you know me. Furthermore, I would say these profiles can also help you pick up on outreach opportunities. So if, for example, you know, with Tyler here, to your knowledge, he wasn't a parent, and now we see that he is consuming a lot of content on parenting, This might signify that something has changed in his life and potentially it's a good time to reach out and connect. So tons of insights that you can garner from these profiles to either help you prep for client meetings, to re-engage clients, learn more about leads, and really just make those touch points count. So with that being said, yes, that brings us to the demo portion. I'm going to just jump into the platform here to show you a little bit of the tool of itself and how this looks. So what you're seeing here is a welcome dashboard, and this is what you would see when you sign into the program. In terms of accessing the program, you can do so with login credentials. You can also set up delegate access. So if you have an assistant or marketing consultant, someone you would like to manage the account on your behalf, you can have them set up their own access. But as you can see here from this welcome dashboard, I can access all the different modules that make up our omni-channel product. Of course, at the heart, we have our content library, the power behind all our communications, which we'll take a closer look at in just a moment. Then we have our newsletter channel, which is that consistent touch point. You can think of this as your broader news update, keeping you top of mind with clients and really present in their lives. Then we have our social media and web marketing system, so the ability to share timely content consistently across your social properties, which again, really huge for brand awareness, for growth. Here at AdvisorStream, it's where we see about 80% of leads being generated on social, so very important. Then we have our direct email framework, which allows for those more targeted strategic touch points. And we do have an optional add-on module, which is our e-cards, digital greeting cards, and really helping you be part of an individual's life journey, not just their financial journey. As with all things marketing and technology, it is important to have the ability to be able to evaluate your performance and really optimize your continued use. So we do have a very robust reports module. Feeding into that, I would say, is also the lead capture element. So we'll take a look at both of those. And I would say it's through our settings and automation that we help ensure our clients are seeing that value and are seeing that ROI. So we'll also take a quick look at automation and what that means in the context of AdvisorStream, because sometimes automation can be a little bit of an off-putting word. But I'm going to start off by jumping into the library here. So here is really the heart of the program. We have this centralized library where those different sources are funneling in. So as I mentioned, when you sign into the program, you'll see the content that's been made available to you along the left-hand side. So you can filter by if it's home office content. If you have added in your own content, you would have a unique folder with your name and any content that you've published clearly visible. Then we have, of course, our final source of content and what makes us truly unique in the way we approach content marketing. And it's the partnerships we have with those publishers. So we have fully ingested, ad-free content that covers, I would say, up to the moment, wealth management and economic news, but also lifestyle and wellness topics, all written by trusted journalists in a really engaging, credible, and informative way. And one of the benefits of having such a wide range and breadth of content is that it allows for a hyper-personalized touch point with your clients. And it also allows you to go beyond business and be beyond finances and kind of touch on the more human side of your business. So let me actually click into an example of the content, and I think that's really what makes us fully unique. So when you're sharing content, as I mentioned, it's being displayed in this co-branded aesthetic. So keeping your logo, your digital business card omnipresent at all times. We have shortcuts to all your contact information. This call to action can populate a Calendly link, a Zumo link, or any approved meeting organizing link that you may be using. And then the piece itself. So of course it lends itself to be a much more pleasant reading experience, but it is also a more controlled space, meaning that we have your disclaimers clearly present here, compliance have that oversight, but then because we control the space, we can also track and engage on the metrics, and this will be what builds out the reporting suite. And then we can also embed that lead capture form into all the content. So this will be the consistent experience of how content looks, regardless of if it's a piece of your content, Worldsource content, a video from the Financial Post, or a text piece from the Globe and Mail or the Wall Street Journal. In terms of how the content's being added, again, you'll see that coming in consistently, certainly on a daily basis, arranged chronologically, but you can always filter using all your options along the left-hand side. But now we know what the content looks like, let's chat a little bit about how it gets shared. So firstly, for social media, you have the option of coming into the platform here, selecting a piece of content, choosing where you would like to post it to. You can send this out on more of an ad hoc, immediate basis. You can schedule it for a specific date and time, or even queue it for later, which links up to our automation. And what we find is that the majority of our clients will reserve this style of sharing for that more ad hoc share. Maybe something has happened in the news that day that you just particularly want to post on. That's something that you can then share, but for the majority of their posts, you'll likely automate it. And then Chris, I did see a question just pop up. You can control the fonts within the main body, not for social media, but for all your emails. And I'll show you what that looks like in a moment as well. Before social media, or you can set up what we would call our social scheduler, which really acts as a rotating posting calendar in which you identify the time blocks of when content should be posted on social. You set a level of automation you're comfortable with, so really a sliding scale from being more hands-off to more hands-on. Most will opt for automated queuing. It looks a little like this, in that you get an email alert showing you the piece we intend to post, where and when, so that from that email you could request if you didn't like the suggestion. You could decline if you wanted nothing to share. But that being said, you have that visibility and that preview of all content, but you're not having to spend time sourcing content on a daily basis. In terms of what's being suggested to you, you do outline the parameters in terms of the different sources you would like to include, and then also the different themes and topics. Always recommending here that variety of both educational style content, but also lifestyle content, travel, pets, food, recipes. That's the type of content that really does perform exceptionally well on social media. So I'm going to take a quick moment just to jump over into an example. So here's a piece that I posted on LinkedIn. So this could be either your message that you've added or pre-populated. And then if I click into this piece, you'll see I'm not being brought over to the Business Insider. Instead, it's that co-branded landing page we looked at in the library. What you're also seeing is that lead capture form I've mentioned a couple of times. So really the ability for you to capture leads online and move them from that rented real estate of social media over to your owned property of your email list. You have their expressed consent, so you can then begin to nurture and build on that individual through the other channels like your newsletter. And that's why we take an omni-channel approach. The ideal is that all your marketing efforts, although unique, but they should be working in concert together. If I close out of this again, you'll see the actual content piece itself and all the resharing options. So if someone does choose to repost or email this out, regardless of how far beyond a website or beyond a LinkedIn this piece goes, all your contact information, your call to action, that's being carried forward. So jumping back into library and cognizant of time, I'm going to speed through maybe a example of our next communication channel. So next we have our direct email. This is that more targeted one-to-one or one-to-few touch point. It's a singular piece of content. You can either lean on one of our pre-written templates as inspiration to edit or use as is. And normally when I'm talking to individuals about using this channel, I do say, keep this as that more informal, I saw this and I thought of you. It should feel a little bit more personalized and casual versus your next communication channel, which is the newsletter. So from the centralized library, you could build your own newsletter from scratch. Most of our clients will reserve that for maybe a holiday newsletter or something along those lines. And instead, for the majority of those weekly newsletters, we'll lean on our weekly suggested newsletter. So here you'll have each week, in partnership with Worldsource, a pre-approved newsletter, a centralized introduction message, of course that's changing each week, and then a mix of content below to support that message. You can edit and personalize this, or of course use this as is. Then the final communication channel I'll quickly touch on is our e-card module. So these are digital greeting cards and really was built out by direct feedback from our clients. And the idea is that it's helping you stay relevant and keep connected with clients, even though we're all leading busy lives. So whether it's a birthday, client anniversary, holiday, you can find an e-card to really suit the occasion. So it's that fantastic way of staying connected and top of mind with clients, and also aligning your brand with those deeply personal events in your clients' and prospects' lives. These cards can also be automated, so that helps ensure that you're not missing those memorable moments. But now, once you start sending e-cards, your newsletter, posting on social media, from within the platform, this is where you'll see that robust reporting module begin to build out. So I'm actually going to jump into maybe another demo account that I think has a slightly better example of analytics. But what you'll be able to see is, for your own account, broken down by channel of communication, your key marketing metrics. So you have that visibility into your open rates, your click-through rates, your delivery rates, how clean of a list you're working from. You'll also be able to see the type of content that's resonating, so which articles are preferred, the sources that are receiving the most traction, and then of course the topics, helping you keep on pulse and keep up to date with what's on investors' minds and what's engaging them, so that you're always positioning yourself as that thought leader and as that source of information. Within the reports module, as I said, this is really that expected marketing data, which is very important, I would say, for strategizing and mapping out your marketing calendar. There's a lot of really great information and insights that you can garner from here. But when I'm chatting to individuals and really encouraging them to prioritize their time, it would be in the contacts dashboard in the section called engagement and activity. So these are those consumption profiles that I mentioned in the PowerPoint. So firstly, you can divide by contact list if you wanted to focus on a particular segment of clients. But what the system is doing is ranking investors based on engagement. So you can see who your most engaged clients are. And then for each individual, you have that visibility into the content they're engaging with, the articles or the videos they're viewing, seeing if they're sharing content, and therefore is this person essentially acting as a referral for you. And then recommended, that data learning. So as you are beginning to communicate with an individual, you can ensure you're doing so and sending out that best, most relevant content based on their reading pattern. You can also simplify this from any of the content in the library, but certainly within these consumption profiles. You could go one by one, sending direct emails, or under the analytics of each article, you'll have that visibility into who else this piece might be recommended for, so that you can begin to bundle up people with content, send what feels like a very personalized one-to-one touch point, but doesn't take you that same amount of time. So I'm cognizant that I think we are at time here, but just the one last thing I'll mention is that we do have a lot of really great resources available to you at support.advisorstream.com. So those will be great for, again, that continued use from navigating the platform to just best practices and continuing on. Chris, I didn't forget, I did for a moment, but in terms of changing the font size, through any of the email channels, when you're building, there's a text box which will have those different style options from font size, bold, italic, font color, etc., etc. So all that's within each channel of communication.
I use AdvisorStream myself, so I can attest to the fact that you do pick up leads from sending out and using AdvisorStream. So if you're looking to bring more people into your own ecosystem, it is a great way. I loved your terminology, rented real estate of social media, and then my own ecosystem being my CRM and my data points. The other thing was, I had in the past written unique articles, my own articles, and then had them ingest into AdvisorStream. Do you still offer that service?
Yes, we absolutely do. And in terms of engagement, we do still see often the highest engagement on that personalized content because it is so tailored and specific. In terms of how you get it added into the library, if you go to our support center, you can just search, we refer to it as custom content, but essentially there's an online form where you can submit a request and then our team can push it into the library, and then it will only be live in your library, of course, as the author.
And that's what's unique about this system is it's if there's an article or a topic that's near and dear to your heart that you want all of your clients to get, then you could write that article. And no, we're not all Hemingway, but if you use ChatGPT, write an article, have it ingested into AdvisorStream, send it out through your system through AdvisorStream and or Equisoft, then you're sending out a personalized particular message to your clients that they're not getting from somewhere else. So that's one of the real powerful parts of the tool. The other thing I would say is that, this is the opportunity to change your assistant or your admin assistant into a marketing assistant. So from a cost center to a profit center. And that helps pay for these tools that we're talking about. When you start outbounding articles that resonate with your clients on a particular topic, tax changes, reduction in costs of insurance. And then that sets up the opportunity for that appointment to utilize Conquest, our next topic. So Rebecca, that was fantastic. Thanks very much. We're going to have you back for another hour of this and how to use it more effectively. But that was just fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the session.
Thanks for being here.